It is match day on this beautiful Memorial Day weekend here in Charleston, South Carolina. We welcome you to MUSC Health Stadium for tonight's USL Championship match. Hey everyone, my name's Poppy Miller. I'll be your host alongside me, Derek Broadley. Absolutely thrilled to have you join us for what's always a fantastic match between these two sides. And for the Battery, of course, unbeaten at home so far this season. For Atlanta United too, they're winless in their last 5. But there's one player in particular that we want to keep our eye on tonight who'll be looking to turn the tide for his side. It's Lawrence White.
Yeah, Lawrence has come to the States to really try and kickstart his professional career. He's a young English guy, and as you can see here, he scored some fantastic goals. He's two-footed. Here you'll see him scoring a great left-footed strike. So I'm sure he's one the home team's going to have to really look after tonight.
He has 2 goals in his last 2 matches and will be looking to notch one tonight for the visitors. But for the home side, another one who'll be looking to find the back of the net is the rookie, Arthur Boshua.
Yeah, Boshua's come into the side, isn't he? And he scored on his debut, and he's really trying to make a name for himself here in Charleston, South Carolina. He's a young player who really works hard for the team, and as I said, I'm sure he's going to be a real fan's favourite in the years to come.
A great physical presence up top and an absolute workhorse all over the park. He's definitely one to keep your eye on tonight. Well, I managed to catch up with Mike Anhauser earlier this week to preview tonight's match.
Being at home, we need to try to get that offensive spark back. You know, we've had a couple tough games, but you're playing good teams. Even we got 2 against Pittsburgh. That's not normal. St. Louis, you know, we had a tough time breaking them down. Indy, I think, was 7 shots. And, you know, this game, you know, hopefully you're going to have 10, 12, 15, 18, 20, and we got to create that. But it's so warm now. It's the heat's kicking in, and you have to be careful. So our possession has to go up. They're a possession team, so they have some positives that could help them, and we have to be aware. But I think being at home, we should create more chances. We always do. We seem to when we do get those chances, we have to take advantage of them.
Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium, a picture-perfect night here for some football. We are just about ready to go, but while we have a second, let's take a quick look at tonight's starting lineups. Well, Derek, for Atlanta United too, some familiar faces for the Battery there with Gordon Wild and Laurent Kissadou. But who else should we keep our eye on?
Obviously, number 32, Kratz, is one of their most senior players, and he's coming down to help a lot of these youngsters, so that's there. But it's a traditional 4-4-2 formation, and I think it's going to cause the Battery some problems.
Brendan Moore in goal starts between the sticks tonight, a change from their last match as well. And talking of changes, a couple of changes to Mike Anhauser's side. No captain Taylor Mueller tonight. It's Leland Archer that will anchor the 3-man back line. Yeah, no change to the formation, but just personnel. You know, with Taylor Mueller hurting himself in the cup game, Archer comes in, but it's that 3-4-2-1 formation with Swans up top, Higashi, Lewis giving them the width. Piggott, Rittmeyer, again giving them some further width on the side, and Candela and Anunga, you know, really anchoring that midfield. So really good, should be a real good game, 2 different formations, really looking forward to this one. The man in the middle for tonight's match, ready to get us underway from MUSC Health Stadium. It's Gordon Wild over the dead ball, 84 degrees and clear blue skies here in Charleston, South Carolina, and we are away from MUSC Health Stadium. And Derek, for this 2 sides, of course, one of the biggest things coming into every single match for them, changes in personnel and getting used to those rotations. Yeah,
the fact that, you know, they've got a senior player, Kratz, coming in, that will raise the level even further, won't it? Because these young players are playing with a guy who's been around the league for a long time. You know they're not going to have an easy time. He's going to expect high standards from all these young players. And for the Battery, it's a great test, isn't it? I know you're playing against young players. You know, it's a test of your formation and a test of the strength of your squad as well.
Fernando looking to drop one across the box. He does just that. What an opportunity in the early going that was. Straight through the back, nobody home at the back post.
Yeah, no, that was a great effort there, and an early warning for the Battery. As I said, you know, when you come up against these teams who have lots of young players, there's no fear there. You know, they play with a freedom. A lot of them, you know, not long out of youth programs where they try and come in. And as I said, it's going to be a big test for the Battery players. They've got to sort of stamp their seniority all over the place and see if they can inflict their will onto the game and certainly try and hold this young Atlanta team back.
Brendan Moore gets his first touch on the ball. Archer picks it out the sky into the middle of the park. Brian Anunga to the rookie Kyle Nelson, who actually just graduated from Wofford. Here's an opportunity though. What a chance this could be. Spilt by Kuzminski, and what a challenge at the back to save his side. Jared Van Schaik, who wears the captain's armband tonight.
Yeah, it was a loose one, wasn't it, by Anunga? He just didn't get his touch right, and Gordon Wild was all over it, wasn't he? He jumped in, great left foot. Good save by Kuzminski. He punched it away from danger.
Gallagher to the back post. Not cleared all the way. Fernando out wide to Kisadu. Kisadu just toying outside the box, trying to track in. Forced out wide. Here's Jack Metcalf. Oldest player on the side tonight. Still only 27 years old though. Apologies, Kevin Kratz, of course, in the lineup, 32. But other than that, a very young side, as we could expect, Derek.
Yeah, and you know, this home crowd's seen a lot of Gordon Wild, and you can just see there what he was all about there. You know, great strike. He very rarely misses the target. He's got a superb left foot. And as I said, I'm sure he'll be wanting to prove something to these local fans tonight.
And of course, the new signee up top tonight, Bienvenu Kana Kamana. He will start for Stephen Glasser's side. But back to your point, this crowd here at MUSC Health Stadium knows exactly what Gordon Wild is capable of. Spent the season on loan at Charleston, 7 goals and 3 assists in his 33 games played in 2018. And absolutely fantastic over the dead ball, as we know.
Yeah, no, he's very good. I mean, he was a big fan favourite when he was here, young player with a lot of ability, and now he's gone back to his home club in terms of like where he signed, and now he's trying to make his way in, I'm sure, into the MLS team. Again, if you actually look, both managers have the similar sort of problems, don't they? You know, because Mike Anhauser's has to chop and change his team. His is more because of injury. You know, Glasses is really more to do with, you know, what the first team's doing and what the youth teams are doing, and so on and so forth. But right now you can see that, you know, Atlanta's probably started off slightly better. They've got a little bit more possession of the ball. The Battery normally take a little while just to come to terms with the game and just everyone to find their feet. And especially at home, you know that they're a very solid team at home, and at some point they're going to have a spell in this game where they're going to try and get on top and really put these young players under pressure.
Catching up with head coach Mike Anhauser earlier this week, he said exactly that. They're coming out to attack. Of course, the last couple of games have been against very defensive sides with St. Louis and Pittsburgh. But tonight, Atlanta, not typically a defensive team, but very possession orientated, like we're seeing in this early going. Here's Kisadu. One-on-one with Anunga, drops it out wide, gets the return. Safety in numbers from the Battery. Wild is there as well. Too much traffic in the box on that occasion. Kevin Kratz, of course, the MLS standout. Spent most of his career overseas in his native Germany.
And I think he'll have a big influence on this team tonight and on this game. You know, his experience, you know, you can't buy experience, can you? You really can't, and he'll be in there, and you know, all these young players will want to get him the ball. They want to show that he can play. They want to, you know, show them that he can compete at this level. So, yeah, I think you know, having him just in the game, and you know, for the local fans to see a player of his quality who's been around the league for a long time and how he handles himself. I don't think he'll play the full game if he's coming back from an injury. You know, the Atlanta 2 team do this right. They use it as a second team, and here we go again with.
They'll be managing his minutes. Gordon Wild lays one off at the top of the box, picked up by Brian Anunga. And Mario Pigott on the far side. Asiadu in the middle, and Ian Svanterson drops back in to pick it up. A loose ball through the back. This could be an opportunity. Kana Kamana still in the box, lays it back to Gallagher. Couldn't find feet at the top. Anunga.
There's 2 loose passes now from the Battery where they've played themselves into trouble, and at the minute, you know, Atlanta 2 aren't even able to do too much just to cause them problems. I think they just need to settle down. As I said, that you know, losing Taylor Mueller could be a big one tonight because of his experience, and Jared Van Schaik, who's had a real good season to now, is going to have to really command those young players at the back. I mean, Leyland Archer's coming back off of injury himself. He's had 1 game under his belt, and I'm sure the longer this game goes on, especially in the heat, he's going to feel it. And as I said, now it's down to the Tar Bryans and the Candelas to really put their personality onto this team.
Here's Gordon Wild. Can he create some space for himself? Anunga denies him. Well, the temperatures here, 84 degrees, right on the mark as to whether we will see a water break or not. So we will await that. All the way to the far side, a long ball pumped into the attack. Fernando on the run, still Fernando inside the box, lays one back, Archer to ground. That was almost an opportunity for Gordon Wild to rip a strike.
Yeah. And again, that was Nelson losing his footing again. They water the pitch before the game, and it seems to cause these players a problem all the time. But now here's Zico Lewis on the board. Let's see if he can have an influence on this game.
Brilliant ball through, looking for Nico Rittmeyer. And the sliding challenge in from Gallagher at the last second. Be a corner for the home side.
Zico Lewis is a big influence on this team. They really do need him. If they're going to play offensively tonight, he's got to get on the ball and really try and set up these opportunities for Swanson, who's again another one coming back from injury. So it's, as I said, it's going to be a big game for him tonight.
Vincenzo Candela, the man over the dead ball. It's going to be an in-swinger from this near side. Some height in the box with 6'6" striker Ian Sponterson. But some pushing and shoving going on inside the box.
I think every time we see the first corner of a game, we see these referees walking up. You know, it's part of the modern game now, these players jostling for position. Referee was straight in there.
Matthew Thompson, the man in the middle for tonight's match. Here's Candela with the delivery. It's a good ball towards the back post. Van Schaik keeps it in. And just falls out of bounds.
Yeah, that was a good delivery. Obviously, it's something they've worked on. I mean, the last few weeks we've seen them at home, they've had a height disadvantage of the battery, but now with Swanson back in there and Archer back in there, they've got some height, and now they can actually throw the ball into the box. And from the left-hand side, Zico Lewis has got a great delivery, so I'm sure they'll be looking to get one on that side as well at some point.
Brendan Moore makes his 4th start tonight for Stephen Glasser's side. 1 clean sheet on the season so far. Conceded 3 goals up to date. Captain Jack at the back. Falls out wide for Gallagher. Into the mix, here's Kratz. Out wide, puts it on a dime, but well read by Kyle Nelson. George Campbell, one of the examples of the homegrown academy players, making their way into the professional ranks. Made his pro debut at the beginning of the season against Hartford Athletic and actually won man of the match. And that's something so common that we'll see with these two sides, is players coming through the academy and getting a chance, not only in this team, but like we've seen them make the way all the way through to MLS. Yeah, no, that, you know, Atlanta do it right, don't they? They use this purely as a breeding ground for their MLS players. You know, it's a good way to get great games, especially to a team such as Charleston. And Charleston, you know, with the youth setup that we're trying to build here now, we'll try and do the same thing, where we'll try and create a player pathway all the way through so that young players can come in at 8, stay in the club from 8 all the way through and get a chance to play in the professional game. Referee just having John Gallagher drop back a couple of yards down below, all the way home to Brendan Moore. Fan Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of its finest leagues around the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products, visit www.selectsportamerica.com. Candela out wide to Piggott. Takes a touch inside. Not too many options on, but finds the feet of Anunga. Anunga for Archer. And you can see straight away that, you know, the one thing, the battery, that, you know, when you play against a more seasoned team, if you like, and, you know, really what you get a bit more time on the ball, but with these young Atlanta 2 players, you can see there's an energy about them. So, you know, even Anunga now, they've had a couple of situations where they've been put under pressure they're probably not used to getting from a more senior team, probably. So it's just something they're going to have to come to terms with. And there's a mistake there. Here comes the opposite way. Candela in the box. Couldn't get the strike away. What a chance for the home side to open the scoring. Brilliantly read by Candela. And Brendan Moore did just enough there. Siadu. Roaming around the middle. Chips one out wide. Here's Wild. And Shake tracking back. Svanterson pressuring with Higashi. The referee will just bring that back. Too much on it on that occasion.
Yeah, and Candela had a great chance there. Then he took advantage of a loose pass again. He was through one-on-one. It wasn't on his stronger foot. To be fair, the goalkeeper's done very well to come out and take away the chance. But as I said, all three chances we've seen so far really have come from mistakes, little defensive errors. You expect that maybe to some of these younger Atlanta 2 teams, but certainly the Battery, you don't expect them from their more senior players. So hopefully that's not a sign of things to come.
Lawrence Wyke in the back line, the man that we mentioned in the pre-game, 2 goals in the last 2 matches. Keep your eye on him getting into the attack tonight. Here's Jared Van Schaik over the dead ball. Plays it short to Anunga.
And you see now Anunga's really trying to lead this team, isn't he? You know, he's back to his old self, or he's coming looking for the ball. He is a senior player in this team now in terms of number of games he's played compared to others. And again, Candela's going to have to come into his own tonight as well. You're going to really have to rely on those two in the central midfield to pull the strings and keep the team going. And for me, I really hope Zico Lewis can have an influence on this game, because he really is where all the creativity comes.
Zico Lewis having a phenomenal season for both club and country after helping his team qualify for the Gold Cup with Bermuda. He'll leave for international duties after the Battery's next USL Championship match at Slugger Field against Louisville City, the reigning champions. And of course, that time of year again with Open Cup, the Battery will take on Nashville SC on Wednesday night in Nashville. So a difficult travel schedule coming up for them. Yeah,
and it's the one time of year where you don't really need niggling injuries, and sadly that's what they're dealing with now. But we say it week in, week out, it gives other players a chance to come in and be part of this squad and get valuable minutes. And every player gets picked, especially for the Battery. Every player that gets picked is expected to come in and play. And that'll be a worrying moment there for Leyland Archer, because he's just coming back off a heel injury. And I think it's one of them where it's just a sore one on the back of the heel.
Leyland Archer, like we mentioned, anchors the 3-man back line, the 23-year-old from Trinidad and Tobago. Played college locally here in Charleston at the College of Charleston in his 2nd season with the Battery, though, after joining halfway through the year last year. Actually catching up with him earlier this week, and he said although he's relatively new to the side, he feels a lot of responsibility to really lead the team tonight, especially from the back.
Yeah, this is going to be a big test for all. Jared Van Schaik, we spoke about him in previous weeks. He shows how versatile he is. He's had last couple of games he's been playing as a left-sided centre back, and he really does like to be further forward. And his discipline to the team is really going to be challenged, and his ability to defend is a quality that he has, but he sort of relinquishes a little bit more the further up the field he's gone.
Van Schaik just about gets it away in time. Here's Rittmeyer. A long ball forced forward. Svanterson on the run. Here's Lewis. That drops out wide to pick it up, and of course Kevin Kratz, no stranger to this turf as well, after playing here with Atlanta United in Carolina Challenge Cup last pre-season. Here's an opportunity for Fernando inside the box, trying a bit of trickery, leaves it for Asiadu. He takes the strike, not on target. No worries for Kuzminski at the back.
No, and again it was another error, wasn't it? It was a loose pass by Candela there that just went astray, and again they broke from that. It was a good strike. I mean, they worked to a nice little dummy there by Kisadou, and it's a good strike. It's just rising all the time. So another little warning sign. I said all 4 chances so far have come from little errors in midfield, and it's sort of 3-1 at the minute to Atlanta 2 in terms of the error category. So let's see if we can. Be nice to get a chance that's very well created with some good soccer.
Fernando leaves a loose one at the back. Candela was there. Rittmeyer picks up the seconds. Svanterson couldn't connect with Lewis, but Higashi can. And this is going to be an opportunity for the Battery with a set piece.
And I'm sure Candela will get over this ball, but again, this could be one for a left foot Van Schaik, and he's already proved this year that he can shoot from this sort of distance. That's well within his range.
Let's have another look at this, Derek.
Yeah, he's gone through. You can just see he's just caught him on the way through. It's a free kick. It's just a sore one for the player to receive, but this is a really good area now. it's definitely, you know, the goalkeeper's definitely going to need a wall. He's going to need to set it up because, as I said, this is something for sure that should be going straight in at the keeper.
Brendan Moore busy organising his defenders. Svanteson in the box with the height. Van Schaik and Candela both over the dead ball. But it's going to be Candela with the straight strike and forces Moore to make the save.
All you can ask there is to hit the target, which is what he done. And it was a comfortable save in the end, but he, as I said, very well done.
Archer back to Kuzminski. Plays a loose one out the back. Fernando. Luis Fernando just roams all over the park. The Brazilian makes his 10th start tonight for this two-side. Actually came to the team from Richmond Kickers as a free agent. Leads the side this season on shots taken and shots on target, so keep your eye on him in the attack. More forced long. Loose touch from Candela. Siadu. For Gallagher. Good ball to the top of the box. Gallagher gets it back, just runs away from him, and the Battery are able to work it out.
It's well played out from there, but it was a nice little play, link-up play around the box by the Atlanta 2 team there.
Here's Rittmeyer picking up some pace on this wing, drops it inside to Zico Lewis. He's got Piggott with him, finds feet, Piggott with space. Still Piggott. Can't get the strike away, and brilliant defending from Lawrence Wyke at the back.
Great defending there. When it was again well worked though, when it Nico Rittmeyer showed all his strengths, driving down the ball, down the line with the ball, and then a good little intelligent pass in, and Zico Lewis moved it, you know, very, very quickly out, and Piggott got a one-on-one, and to be fair to him, at least he had the ability and the confidence to take the defender on, which was fantastic.
Wyke with the ground ball, Gallagher. Dispossessed in the middle, Higashi's there. And the referee will give that in favour of the home side.
I think there, that's Higashi there's got lucky there, I think. I think it was just a come together of two players. You know, the referee's on the right side, so it probably looked worse from his side, but I think that was just a natural collision there. So we're nearly 20 minutes in, and you know, we've had 4 chances. All of them really, as we've said, have come from mistakes, but it's a very open game, isn't it? You know, yeah, as I said, I think the Battery didn't start off too well. They're now sort of coming back into the game. You can see now they're trying to keep the ball a little bit longer and try and work the ball from back to front through midfield. But the energy of this young Atlanta 2 team has caused them a few problems today.
Rittmeyer trying to find the feet of Lewis. Wyke recovers. For Atlanta United 2, this is the end of a 3-game road stretch for them. Returning to home soil for the next match. And of course the Battery are the opposite, who will go on the road for the next 2. Here's Romario Piggott. Numbers getting into the attack for the Battery. Piggott on the far side, Numbers in the box. Can he find Svanteson? Get something on it, but not enough. But a brilliant ball in by Piggott.
No, that was good. That was again good play again. Zico Lewis was the main architect when he got it. He played a real good early pass wide. Piggott's left there. It's a great cross in, isn't it? Swanson just uses his height and strength. So we know he does well. Again, some very good defending there as well.
Wild. Out wide to Kisadu. Kisadu made 1 appearance for the black and yellow on his loan spell here for the season. Do. Let's get a touch on it. The pressure is there.
I think when you're a player like Kisadu or Gordon Wild and you come back to the club that took you on loan, you always want to prove a point that you've improved, that you've gone back to your home club as a better player. I certainly think that was the case for Gordon Wild, and the loan system really does help some of these young players to establish themselves in their parent clubs. But as I said, you know, straight away you can see the confidence of both players. You know, they come into a place they know, they're playing against some players that they might have played with before, so there's a level of confidence that they display straight away.
Gordon Wild certainly got a spring in his step tonight. He actually scored 2 goals against his parent club when these two teams met last season for the black and yellow.
Yeah, it's amazing how that works, isn't it? You know, when you've come up against a team that you've played against before, and sometimes it can work really for you, and sometimes you can struggle. And he definitely, you know, was up for the challenge last year. Good play there by Van Schaik again, driving out from the back, breaking the line of midfield.
Rick Meyer looking for Zico Lewis, whose name we haven't said too many times so far in tonight's match, but here he is on the ball. Just outside the box, tries to take a touch inside. Almost beaten to the races by White.
Zico's only had a couple of touches, but when he does get it, as I said, something can always happen. And as I said, I think the more of an influence he has on the game, the better that is for the Battery, and the worse it is for Atlanta.
Here's Van Schaik. Into the box, nobody at home. And Kisadu brings it out. He's got Fernando with him, while making his way into the box. And here's the overlapping run, a fantastic ball through, and Kuzminski cool and calm at the back.
I don't know if we get a chance to see it again, but wait to see how intelligent Brian Anunga was there covering Jared Van Schaik. He's gone up there, he's done a great recovery run there, and that's what he's going to have to do for this team. Jared Van Schaik's gone up there, he's joined in attack, you know, very positively and quite rightly. But Brian there just sat in, covered him. Nico Rittmeyer was working out to get back, but it was Anunga that done it, and shows you the sort of maturity he has as a player to recognise and see that.
Brian Anunga led the team in tackles and interceptions in 2018. Also the team MVP, exactly for what you were just saying. Romario Pigott, he's onside, completely on his own, one-on-one, lays it back for Lewis, who puts it wide of the target.
Oh, and I think of all the players you would have liked to have had that fall to, it would have been Zico Lewis. Pigott's broke the offside trap brilliantly. He's gone in, look, and he hasn't just rushed, he's picked out Lewis, who's just tried to side foot it home, and that's a real chance there. And as I said, that's unusual for Zico Lewis to miss that, but good, you know, real good play there by the Battery, and very unfortunate.
Phenomenal run by Romario Pigott, the Panamanian. Spent the summer last season with Myrtle Beach. Prior to that was with Coastal Carolina. Scored 7 goals, registered 6 assists in 14 appearances for Myrtle. He really is one of the bright sparks on the ball. Here's White.
Yeah, and to make that jump up, you know, this is what's great now about soccer in the US, isn't it? You know, that we've got these different levels now that players can challenge themselves, go up a level. You know, it used to be PDL, now it's 1 and 2, and you know, players can then start working their way up and down through the ranks, and you see it's not even Kratz coming down playing at this level.
Kamana. Out wide, Gallagher. Siadu dropping back into the midfield, out wide. Kratz, the one to orchestrate things in the middle of the park. Kratz with just under 50 MLS appearances for Atlanta United. And safety in numbers from the Battery at the back, Kuzminski.
Good little link-up play there by Gordon Wild. He shows what he's got in his locker. He's very clever. He's very technical. You know, as I said, when he was down here, I thought it was a pleasure to watch. A good example for a lot of young players. His technique's fantastic. You know, and to be a young player at that age, coming away from home on a loan club, I think, as I said, I think he had an outstanding time with the Battery.
With the press on Van Schaik, too much on that occasion. He'll have a talking to by our head referee. Gordon Wild selected 37th overall by Atlanta United in the 2018 draft from Maryland University.
The referee's just saying there, he's just saying, I think it's because he catches him from behind, that's why he's having a word. You know, that can be a real sore one and a dangerous one for players. That.
Here's Fonterson, trying to lead Zico Lewis into the edge of the box, just by the byline. 1-2. Pigott, Higashi. Pigott inside the box this time. And couldn't quite work it over the back. Looked like it took a deflection from here, but that'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, I think there, you know, once you get trapped like that, you've got to look to get yourself a corner. But great little play again, link-up play by Higashi and Pigott there, you know, on the edge of the box. And I said, if you get Higashi, you get Lewis, and you get Pigott all combining. And even Swanson now, he's grown in confidence. He can link the game up as well now. That's when they look dangerous, the Battery, when they can get all those three players on the ball and show their creativity in around the 18-yard box.
More play short out the back. Swanson with some pressure. Fans, you can follow the Charleston Battery and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and many more. Join over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN Plus and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at espnplus.com. Fernando just loses his footing in the middle of the park.
The Battery got away with one there because they were breaking, they were on.
A very slick surface out here tonight. The pitch just watered before kickoff. And here's Zico Lewis. And more forced quickly to collect.
Again, nice little link-up play, little 1-2s in and around the box. So, again, that's, you can see that the Battery players, they're working on. That's what Mike Anhauser was talking about, you know, about being more positive in possession, you know, trying to work the ball forward, trying to put the other team under pressure, test some of these young defenders.
Swanson with Higashi. Nicely done at the back by White. Taro Higashi, the Japanese veteran, his third season. Here's Zico Lewis. Zico Lewis gets a touch on it and a fantastic save by Brendan Moore at the back.
And we get another look at that one. Just look how quickly, how intelligent he is, Zico. It looks like he's lost control, but he stabs it out again. Just watch this. He has a little touch here, then a little flick, a little double touch there. Very unlucky, but very bright as well. He made sure he got his and it nearly caught the goalkeeper off guard.
Zico Lewis, 3 goals on the season so far. Looking for his 4th tonight. Here is Candela. The fans getting behind their side now. It's going to be another in-swinger. Candela again with the delivery towards the back post. Kyle Nelson's there, couldn't connect.
Obviously something they've worked on, trying to put it into the back post.
Lewis through for Higashi this time. Higashi with the delivery and more quick off his line.
I think Swanson's there's complaining again that he got thrown, he got pushed in the back. I think he was going to, I don't think he would have got there because I think Moore came and collected it early, but you know, what he was saying was he was impeded.
Gordon Wild on the run at the other end of the park. Nicely dealt with by Leland Archer, but that is actually going to be a free kick given late there though, Derek.
Yeah, I think the referees now, they do have 5 seconds to make a decision, and this is a real dangerous. I think what he was doing, he was waiting to see, and I'm sure now that these referees and assistant referees are mic'd up, that was definitely a case of like them discussing it, you know, while play was going on, because there was at least 2 or 3 seconds there from the foul to when the whistle went.
Well, this could be dangerous because we know how dangerous this man is over the dead ball. Kevin Kratz going to collect. And we know just what he's capable of, what he's been doing for Atlanta United. And let's see what he can cook up from this angle.
And there's a situation, if he wasn't playing now, would Gordon Wild be taking this free kick on this left side? We know he's got quality delivery, don't we, Kratz? And as I said, Nunga he's just in that hole. He might need to just drop back a touch because that's a big gap to hit right now. So Kuzminski's on his toes.
And again, keep your eye on Lawrence Wyke at the back post. Kevin Kratz over the dead ball with the delivery towards the back, and Leland Archer high to the sky for safety.
Yeah, you just got to make sure you're first there, and that's what Archer's done, isn't he? You know, you've got your man and the ball, and you're nice and tight, and it's just like, you know, having a big player like Archer, he's going to make sure he just gets his head on the ball. Doesn't matter where it goes, and it goes out.
Kratz again, waiting for the delivery. Referee all eyes in the box. Kevin Kratz, dink ball into the box, and it's Gordon Wild that gets the follow-up, and Kuzminski to pick up the loose ball.
And I'll tell you what, they were lucky there again, because that was a free header there, and it not only was it a free header, then it fell to Wild, it was also free. So they got lucky again, the battery there. They've got to get a little bit tighter, and you know, maybe Archer or someone's got to start making sure that players have got their men nice and tight.
Nelson finds the feet of Piggott. Forced to track inside, drops it back. And all through the back line. Stephen Glass down below, dishing some direction out to his side. A bit of a journeyman over his professional career, including playing for several Premier League teams, including Newcastle, some championship sides, before coming to the States to play for Carolina Railhawks. He was promoted from academy coach to the coach of this twos team in January of this season.
We talk about the leagues in terms of player progression, but also coaching progression. It's nice to see him getting his opportunity at this level.
Gallagher leads a ball into the box, gets it back, whips a strike, and straight over the top of the crossbar.
Kratz turns away there. He held his hands. It wasn't him that had the shot, but he's thinking that's got to be a goal. That's got to be on target there. If you look, it's fallen really, really nice here. Look, it's a great ball in, and you must hit the target from there. That's definitely got to be considered a chance there.
Gallagher actually playing at the back, but played as a forward in his collegiate career at Notre Dame. 30 goals over his 4 years there.
As an ex-striker, he'd be very disappointed he didn't hit the target.
It's a brilliant ball from Zico Lewis. Here's Romario Piggott, who takes the early strike and just drops one wide.
Again, that's the beauty of having Zico Lewis. He's almost got eyes in the back of his head there. He's just played that ball instinctively. Piggott's got in. He didn't really fancy getting in front of him, but he's, you know, again, all he's got to do is hit the target, and they score. They're 1-up. But another very, very creative opportunity there for the battery.
Zico Lewis, what a bit of trickery that was. I'd love to see that again. But here's Kisadu at the other end of the park. Takes a touch looking for space. Kratz out wide to Gallagher. Numbers in the box for the visitors. It's Gordon Wild this time. And no worries for Kuzminski.
And Gallagher's having an impact, isn't he? He's coming up regularly, and you know, Kratz is feeding him. It's a here's the Piggott expert. He said it here. I think he just really wants to take it well onto his left foot, but it comes back onto him, and that's a great effort there.
Zico Lewis, such a competitor. Brilliantly well worked between those two up top. Svantesson out wide for Piggott. Safety first from Captain Jack at the back.
It's a very open game, isn't it? It's, you know, it's two teams that, you know, are going for it. You know, I'd like to see what the shot count is already. I'm sure it's well up there. Both teams are definitely creating some chances. There was a few mistakes early on, but yeah, it's a very forward-thinking game here. Here's another one.
Candela drops it back. Too much pace on it. Nobody there. Kamana creates some time for himself into a Siadu.
Where the battery are getting successes when they go from back to front, it's those midfield players that are coming from deep. And as the Atlanta 2 defence is coming up, players are making very intelligent runs and getting in. That's about the third time now they've got in behind from a long pass.
Fernando for Wild. Safety in numbers from the battery. Anunga can't keep hold of it. Kevin Kratz comes rolling through. Out wide to Kisadu. Loses his footing just inside the box. Metcalf. Brilliant vision of the game by Kevin Kratz there, leading his team into the attack.
The game's just settling down now. We're getting to that last 10 minutes now where It doesn't matter which half. In this heat, players are going to start to feel a little bit tired towards the end of the half, and we've already seen some mistakes, and now you're hoping if you're both coaches that a mistake now doesn't take you in 1-0 down, you know, and change the whole dynamic of your half-time team talk.
Fernando. On out wide, Kisadu. So good ball in, returns to sender. Fernando across the box. Brilliant opportunity there and well worked. No worries for the battery.
Yeah, Joe Kaminski, he looked like he had it under control. And as I said, it's so yeah, he had it under control. It just went over his head and he just saw it out.
Taking his time out of the back, giving his team a chance to get up. You said just under 10 minutes left to play here in the first half at MUSC Hill Stadium. And we knew these two teams contrasting playing styles coming in to tonight's match. Of course, Atlanta United too, very possession orientated, led the league last year with possession. But you've got to say it's been fairly open in this first half so far. No,
as I said, I think if we look at the stats at half-time, I'm sure we'll see that both teams have had their moments and their chances. And as I said, right now it's a case of which one's going to take the chance. I mean, both of them, both teams have certainly, you know, created chances. And as I said, the systems are different, but the style of play, as I said, it's been very, very, very open. You know, both teams who've got creative players, you know, Kraft, Zico, Lewis, they're having, and even Gallagher coming out from the back. You know, there's been some good performances already today, and but neither goalkeepers had to make a real great save yet. So it's amazing how open the game's been.
Of course, talking to Stephen Glass before tonight's match, he said one of the problems, of course, always coming into matches is how much training time and how cohesive these guys can get together. Several of the roster traveling with Atlanta of the MLS, who lost to Salt Lake yesterday 2-1.
I think it's the defensive side of the game where teams struggle in that department. And offensively, you know, kids are bright, you know, players are bright, they're very attack-minded. But when you're trying to get defensive, organised, I'm sure Mike Anhauser will testify to that, you know, you build your defence first, you make sure you're sound, if you don't concede goals, you don't lose games. And that's hard to do if you're changing personnel on a regular basis.
Also a very young squad as well of the 31 players that have appeared for Atlanta United too. So far this season, the average age of them all combined is just 21 years old.
So that's the way it should be for, you know, for an MLS club having what is really a reserve team. It's a place where you can develop young players, get them some really good, valuable games, and you can see they're very comfortable at this level.
White with the dink ball over Gallagher with the delivery, just fell out of bounds.
But they do it the right way. I think them and Philadelphia Union's another one with Bethlehem Steel. You know, they use their USL Championship team as a way to, you know, give these young players to see if they can handle the next level up. And we've seen with Nashville and all these other teams that have to make the jump, you know, they might take 1 or 2 players with them, and the rest they've got to go searching around the leagues and overseas now to get players that can cope at this level.
Of course, for Atlanta United in the MLS, so many of those academy players have come through and made their way all the way through up until the first team. Romario Williams being a close example for those that are fans of the Charleston Battery after spending 2 seasons on loan here, playing for the Twos and also for the MLS side.
And I think for some of these MLS kids that don't quite make it at their parent club, they get a chance to come and play at USL, which is only making the game better.
Yes, they do. Drops it back to Metcalf. Metcalf with the delivery. It's a brilliant ball into the box, takes the deflection, and Archer manages to get it away.
That's a great save if Joe Kaminsky's got that. As I said, you know, Jared Van Schaik got caught the wrong side, and Kaminsky's come out with a great save.
Here's Piggott for Lewis. Zico Lewis trying to return to the feet of Romario Piggott, but dispossessed at the last second in the box. Fernando sees some space on the flank. Gallagher's there. Very slick surface. Several players losing their footing tonight. Wild. Pressure's there from the Battery, forces it back to Metcalf. Just under 5 minutes left to play of the first half. Kratz drops one into the box. I think we're looking for Gordon Wild there. Right idea.
No, great, as I said. No, that was a great save by Kuzminski. If it was actually a save, he's done fantastically well there, because that header was right on a plate there. Nico Lewis has done very well there to even get a free kick for his team. You look there, he's a small lad, but he just got his body there in front. I'm sure we'll get to see it again. He got his body in front. He used all of his frame just to screen the ball. And I think he's just been caught in the face there.
Campbell, the culprit. Let's have another look at this.
There you go. Look, you can see all he's trying to do is get his body in front of the defender, which is what you teach them to do. He's done it, and I think he's just been caught with a stray arm or a stray hand. He'll dust himself down and get back on with the game.
Campbell, one of the homegrown academy players, just 18 years old, 6'2", Atlanta native. Candela goes short. They're looking to drop one into the attack, picked up by Lewis.
I didn't see anything for a yellow there either. That was fine.
Whitmire on the run down the flank. Good defending from the visitors. A nice touch from Higashi. Svanterson lays it back to Candela, and quickly read by Kevin Kratz.
Just a little bit too obvious there by Swanson. You know, his big height. It's very hard for him to disguise them little subtle passes, but again, good play there by the Battery.
Here's Svanterson again now, almost found an opportunity through on goal.
The youngsters there just got caught in two minds. I don't think Moore was very dominant there. The other two, I think it was Wyke and Campbell there, just got caught a little bit in possession.
Of course, Ian Svanterson, another one coming back from injury, played fantastically for his side when he came on as a substitute against Greenville Triumph, scoring both goals, including the winning goal, to get them to the third round of the US Open Cup, which will be this Wednesday against Nashville SC. And we'll talk more about that at half-time, Derek.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. We'll go into detail with that. But you know, Swanson was as unfortunate, wasn't he? Because he had a great start of the season. He was scoring goals, which is what you want your strikers to do. And then all of a sudden, he got that little injury. But he came back in and has got another 2 goals and picked up where he left off. So that's good news for Mike Anhauser.
Wild lets it fall for Kratz. Anna Kamana takes a touch inside. And nicely done by Nico Rittmeyer.
Good intelligent midfield play there by Rittmeyer. When he got the right side, he saw that he just double teamed and done well for his team. Another good bit of defending there by Rittmeyer. You know, he does some coaching in our youth program, does Nico, and you know, he's a great example of young players how you know, he's a very offensive player, but he doesn't mind doing the donkey work as well.
Candela drops it out wide to Svanterson. Svanterson going to the end line, drops the negative back, and nothing to come of it. That will be a corner though for the black and yellow. Just under a minute of regulation left to play, taken quickly. Here's Rittmeyer. Rittmeyer with the long delivery towards the back post. Piggott couldn't get there in time.
I think that was a case of trying to play a little bit too quickly there. I don't think the Battery were organised, and you know, it was a really good break again by the Battery. You know, Swanson, you know, shows his pace. You know, one-on-one, he's prepared to take players on. It was a great cutback, and they deserved the corner kick.
Lawrence Wyke, the man we highlighted in the pre-game, the Englishman, just 22 years old, from Bolton in England, came through the Manchester United Youth Academy, played 2 seasons at Furman. To see confirmation, 2 minutes of added on time.
I think sometimes you get to this stage of the game, you're thinking, no, let's go in, you know, 0-0, we'll regroup. So you can see all the fans now going there to get their drinks. The referee blows it for half-time.
There we go, that is the end of the first half here at MUSC Health Stadium. 0-0 is the score heading into the locker room. Derek Broadley, your thoughts on the first half?
As I said, if you're a neutral, you've seen some great opportunities. I think there's been about 5 or 6 really good chances, and you know, it's been very evenly matched. I think the Battery came out a little bit slow. The enthusiasm of the Atlanta 2 team was too much from in the early stages, but they played their way back in, and it's a really even game, and it's a very entertaining game. And goalkeepers, everyone's involved in it. So really looking forward to the second half.
We'll stay with us at halftime. We'll take a look at the Battery's upcoming schedule and the player spotlight. We'll be back in just a mo. As we head into an action-packed Memorial Day weekend in the USL Championship, let's recap the three main headlines from Week 11 in this week's Around the League, presented by Home Telecom. Only 3 teams in the Eastern Conference picked up a win last weekend, including Hartford Athletic with their first win in league play. Jose Angulo scored the pair of goals for his side to earn their first 3 points. They'll return home this Saturday to take on Ottawa Fury. It was a clash of the top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference on Saturday night at Al Lang Stadium when the Tampa Bay Rowdies took on New York Red Bulls 2. Juan Tejada was the one to watch after scoring both the Rowdies' goals, one in the 30th minute and the second in the 58th. Despite the Rowdies going down to 10 men in the final 20 minutes of the match, they were able to keep the Red Bulls out and earn their 7th clean sheet of the season. Nashville SC moves up to second place in the Eastern Conference after taking 3 points from Birmingham Legion on Wednesday night in the USL Championship Game of the Week. The lone goal of the match came from the penalty spot in the 63rd minute, and it was Daniel Rios who was able to capitalise on the opportunity. Gary Smith's side will head to Lucas Oil Stadium this Saturday to take on Indy 11. Well, that just about wraps things up around the Eastern Conference. For the Charleston Battery, I'm Poppy Miller.
Phoenix coming out the other way. Junior Fleming's leading the charge. Numbers forward for Phoenix. John trying to go back for Flemings. Flack stays down. Back across. Solo!
We're underway right off the bat. Here's Justin Dillon moving up the middle. He's going to push that ball wide toward Gonzalez. Gonzalez, a first touch cross. Back inside for Dillon and a goal! Less than 10 seconds.
Poku slicing through. Quadro Poku. Score! Tejada again!
Lomas kicks it to his right, crosses it underneath Miller, and it's knocked away. Spangenberg deflects it, laying out and making the save.
It's a great save again.
Acquired a backstage pass. Doyle recovers. Aduro 1-0.
Ready to go to work to the byline, crossing in. It's a goal! again, Jerome Kiesewetter.
It's Prater! What a hit!
It is electric. Into the box, a strike, and a goal.
Kiesewetter knocked away by Zell.
What a save for Brian Myers. The most dangerous player, perhaps in USL League One. Pepe curls! Ricardo Pepe, brilliance!
Looking to get that right foot off for an incredible one-handed save by Kevin Silva.
Developing situation, Jones. Jones on the move, Jones with a shot! Rips it off the right post. Another opportunity, and the strike is true.
J.C. Banks now, letting it rip from deep. What a save by Hara!
Cablante, back of the net. 42nd minute.
Forward the second go, falls through, saved by Fitzgerald. Oh, what a stop.
Charleston Battery Soccer Club is the youth partner of the United Soccer League Championship Club Charleston Battery and also the Women's Premier Soccer League Club Charleston Fleets. We are a club that is totally focused on long-term individual player development that targets development in three main areas: player development, coaching development and parent education. We strive to create the total learning environment at all of our venues and locations in Somerville, Daniel Island and Mount Pleasant via our age-specific curriculums for both boys and girls from the ages of 6 through to 18 years. An in-house video-based curriculum and methodology is available to all players alongside our unique Skills Fit Play sessions where our professional players interact directly with youth players on techniques needed to play in the modern game. All players in the Low Country who are interested in getting on that.
Welcome back to MUSC Health Stadium. It's half-time here between the Charleston Battery and Atlanta United 2. But while we have a second, let's turn our attention to the next upcoming game for the Charleston Battery. They've advanced to the Open Cup round 3 after their win against Greenville Triumph, and they'll be taking on Nashville SC on Wednesday night.
Yeah, this is going to be a tricky game because the two teams met not long ago in what was a 3-1 win for the Battery. And the Open Cup definitely gives coaches a chance to play around with their lineups. But as you go deeper into this tournament, it becomes more prevalent and more exciting for the teams because the MLS teams come in at a later stage.
And of course, the Charleston Battery have had some historic runs in the Open Cup. They'll be looking to recreate that this year. And like you mentioned, very exciting when you see these MLS teams start to come into the mix.
Yeah, Nashville will be looking to play someone that they're going to play frequently next year. And the Battery, it's a big carrot for these young players to go and play up against supposedly the upper echelons of MLS soccer.
And it's very, very simple. You win, you move on, you lose, and you go home. So all to play for on Wednesday night. You can catch that game on ESPN Plus. Kickoff at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Well, then the Battery will remain on the road to take on the USL reigning champions Louisville City SC at Slugger Field.
Yeah, this is another big one. This is one that the players will have in their diary because what they'll see is they'll want to take on the champions, and it's not just the champions for this year, it's the last couple of years. So there's a huge target on the back of Louisville City. The one thing that everyone's going to look for is the field because it's a very, very difficult surface for these professional players to play on, and I'm sure it's a leveller that will certainly suit the home team.
That field is very tricky, like you mentioned, half turf, half natural grass inside the box makes it very tricky for both teams, but you've got to say it favours the home side, them playing on it week in, week out.
Yeah, but I'm sure the Battery players, most of them have played there before, so they'll be looking forward to that one as well.
Well, this week in the player spotlight, Kyle Nelson, the rookie who has made several appearances for the Battery so far this season, but also just graduated from Wofford College last weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not really surprised about how much he's played this year. He's come into the team off the back of some injuries that the Battery's had, but he's come in and he's stabilised himself and kept his place in the team. as I'm sure he'll want to stay there for the rest of the season, and the big test for him will be when these players start returning from injury.
He's settled in very nicely to the side, and I'm sure many more appearances to come for him throughout the season. Well, we're going to take a quick break now, but when we come back, we'll have second half action from MUSC Hill Stadium. It's the Charleston Battery taking on Atlanta United 2, and it's up next. Welcome back to MUSC Hill Stadium. It's half-time here between the Charleston Battery and Atlanta United 2. Poppy Miller alongside Derek Broadley. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match wherever you are. Well, the team's making their way out of the locker room. But while we have a second, let's take a look at some first half highlights. You've got to say, Derek, several chances for either side.
Yeah, no, it was a really entertaining first half. I thought, here's the first one here, Gordon Wild, it just falls to him. He tries to get a good strike off there. And it really was a game that sort of went from end to end. Here's another one here. Here's the one by Zico Lewis, where it's a great little second touch and the goalkeeper makes a very good save. Then we go back down the other end. I think this is Gallagher's chance. He sort of links up, it falls to him, and he really should do better there. And then we go back down the other end, and I think we see, I think it's either Piggott. It's a great little flick through here by Zico Lewis, and Piggott gets through. And all he really's got to do is hit the target, and there's a goal. I think what is, there's lots of huffing and puffing. I think the first team that really gets one on target or really forces the goalkeeper to make a save will get their noses in front, and then it's all to play for. But really looking forward to the second half. I thought it was a really entertaining first half.
You're absolutely right. Both teams there having final few words with each other before we get underway for the last 45. Just one change at the half. Kevin Kratz making his way off. Will Vint makes his way on. And a change that we could have predicted was coming, Derek.
Yeah, I thought he might have stayed on a little bit longer, but obviously he's coming back from an injury. His priority is the MLS, isn't it? So he's got his workout, he's got his football. So there might be a little change in formation, and certainly, you know, Kratz had a big influence on the game, and I'm sure he raises the game for a lot of the other players. So it'll be interesting to see what impact his absence has on the game as a whole. And I'm sure the Battery will be very pleased to see him just having 45 minutes.
Will Vint, just 17 years old, another academy player from Atlanta. Very confident player for such a young age, and we're underway for the second 45. A brilliant night for some football, warm temperatures and a slick surface. Here's Svanteson in the early going, the overlapping runs there from Piggott. Still Svanteson takes a strike, couldn't quite get over that one. Almost went out for a throw what looked like there, Derek.
Yeah, but it shows his confidence, though. He's prepared to take players on. I mean, yeah, it was a bit of a wild shot, you know, coming straight out the locker room. I'll give him a 2 out of 10 for that one, but I'll give him a 10 out of 10 for his ambition and wanting to take it on, you know. And as I said, Ian needs all the confidence. He's a big confidence player, and when he's on form, as I said, he can definitely score goals.
Swanson leads the Battery in goals this season, 3 on the season, as is Zico Lewis so far. Here's Kisadu. Comes to the top of the box. Kyle Nelson is there, though, as these two go back and forth. Nelson straight out the back. Taro Higashi picks it up on the flank. And Vint with his first challenge of the match.
And the young lad's got to come into a game. I mean, he couldn't get more extreme than that, bringing out a seasoned pro for a young academy player. So, as I said, it will be interesting to see what, you know, he'll certainly have enthusiasm, but let's see how he settles into this game. And I think great decision by Glass to bring him on at half-time, so he hasn't got to come into a game. He can come in and find the tempo of the half and grow into the game, rather than come in after 10 minutes and have to come to terms with the speed and the tempo.
Watching him warm up at half-time, we could see the change coming. No changes as of yet for Mike Anhauser's side, though. Like we mentioned, a difficult time, of course, for head coach Mike Anhauser, with several players out on injury as we approach this heavy schedule with Open Cup.
Yeah, I think you can look at it 2 ways. You know, you miss some of your more prominent players. You know, Taylor Mueller certainly is a miss right now, and you know, Jay Bolt is another influential player. But then you look at it and you're saying right now, you know, Nelson's going to get some minutes. Piggott's come back into the team to get some valuable minutes. You know, Swanson's coming back in after an injury and he'll get some valuable minutes. So, as I said, you know, as long as you've got 11 fit bodies or 14 fit bodies, I think, you know, that's the skill of the coach about to put them into a team and make them competitive. I have to say, Mike Anhauser does a very, very good job of doing that.
Year in, year out. We talk about this a lot in the broadcast. When you think of the Charleston Battery, of course, hard not to think of Mike Anhauser, with it celebrated his 25th anniversary at the club last season, actually against Atlanta United 2 was the match where we celebrated him. He's been such a crucial part of the Battery's success over the years. Here's Anunga. Out wide to Piggott. Piggott cutting in a grab ball, and Swanson just wide of the post.
I think the referee's going to give a goal kick, so that means that, I'm trying to think, who was the defender there, but it was great defending. We'll get to see it now. Look, I think it was Wyke who done in, and that's fantastic defending, just putting Swanson. He's just got his body in front. I think he's took a little bang on the knee there, but he made it difficult for Swanson, who put himself in a great position, just needed to get something on it and direct it towards the goal. Yeah, White's picked up a little knock there, and I'm sure they'll be watching that closely over the next thing, because he had an outstanding first half. He's a very solid defender. Now, I know we highlighted him early on for his goal scoring, but his defensive duties is very, very good as well.
He leads the league in tackles won so far this season. Like you said, we mentioned him in the pre-game, not for just his defensive capabilities, but also in the attack as well, with 2 goals in the last 2 games. Anunga for Piggott, loose touch. Kisadu picks up the possession for his side. Brilliant run into the attack, safety in numbers out of the back by the Battery. Swanson.
Good centre forward play there by Swanson. He read the pass, then he got his body in front and kept it, and got his team back in possession. So a good play there.
It's from Mario Piggott, just 23 years old, the Panamanian Youth International. His first season with the Battery. This is 8th start for the side tonight. Van Schaik on the far side. Where's the captain's armband tonight? Like you mentioned, Derek, Taylor Mueller out with the knock.
Yeah, no, he's a big miss when he's not playing, because of his leadership and, you know, and his ability to play and manage the team. So it's a big, big ask for Van Schaik to go in and take his place.
A good switch from Rittmeyer. Here's Anunga. Can he find the negative? Yes, he can. But Moore is there to pick it up.
Just got to get more of an angle on that and cut it back. You know, you can't just whip one across. You've got to try and pull it back for players to run onto.
Hanakaman on the far side with Gordon Wild. Takes a touch across the park. Finds the feet of Will Vin.
very confident, doesn't he, young Vin? Comes in straight away, he's good on the ball. That's a great interception there by Van Schaik. He needs a bit of support. Gets it there in the form of Candela.
Higashi, the Japanese veteran. Talking of players coming through, he came through the Open Trials in 2017 and impressed Mike Anhauser. Actually won Newcomer of the Year after a stellar season. Almost a brilliant turn there by Zico Lewis, and again some fantastic trickery, gets an applause from the crowd and keeps it in bounds. Into Higashi, Higashi at the top of the box, darting around, lays it off for Candela. Candela takes a touch inside, it's a brilliant strike, and more quick to react.
There was some great play all round there, wasn't there? But
here's Gordon Wild at the other end of the park. This time Kuzminski forced off his line. Back and forth in this late going.
That was good play there, wasn't it? All round, there were some great pieces of individual skill, you know, culminating in Candela having his shot on the edge of the box. But Zico Lewis twice there, tried to pull the ball out of the air. Fantastic technique.
Fernando. To roam all over the park. A good layoff. Left to the top of the box. Vin picks it up. Gallagher into the attack. Sponterson combines with Van Schaik. Van Schaik delivers an early ball, but Campbell is there.
Great effort by Van Schaik. You can see what he's trying to do. He's just trying to bend it around the last defender for Zico Lewis to run round, and Zico Lewis saw it was short and just tried to get across, but just didn't have the speed to get there. But you know, again, the sort of second half has started right off where the first half left off, and a lot of half chances, a lot of exciting play. You know, this big crowd, and there is a big crowd beneath us tonight, and it's there, and they'll be really enjoying the amount of like half chances or three-quarter chances. We just need that one that's going to go on and really test the goalkeeper. And the game looks like it's crying out for a goal, doesn't it?
Brilliant chances for either side. These two teams met 3 times last year. The Battery took 2 of them, and Atlanta United 2 took the other. Fernando, back to Kisadou. Kisadou looking to inject one into the attack. Sayadu is there, and this is going to be a free kick for the visitors, Derek. Very, very dangerous, and I think this has Gordon Wild written all over it.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be involved in this. Kisadou looks like he's involved as well. But here we go. Look, the referee's done. It's great refereeing here. Look, he's waited to see if there was an opportunity. You see him there. He realised the chance had gone, and he goes back. So very good refereeing. I don't think sometimes we give the credit to the referees there, but very, very good decision. And it's a very dangerous area. This is Gordon Wild territory all over here. I think he's looking just to take sole responsibility on it, which does help Joe Kuzminski because he knows what he's like. It's a left-footed shot. He can normally guess the trajectory of the shot from this sort of distance.
See the eagerness of the entire team. I think wanted to look in at one point. Gordon Wild wins it on this occasion, and it's Gordon Wild with the straight strike. And I tell you what, Derek, that wasn't far off.
No, I think sometimes, though, I think as a goalkeeper, you're happy when it's just one player. And I think sometimes from that distance, I'm not even sure you need a complete wall all the time, because you can have a split wall. But yeah, it was a good effort. It was always rising. I think Joe Kuzminski was comfortable with it. But yeah, we know, firsthand what Gordon Wild can do from that distance. And he's got a very sweet left foot.
Scored 7 goals for the Black and Yellow during his season, 3 assists. Brilliant left foot, as we just saw. Sayadu out wide. Comes the delivery into the box, and Kuzminski comes out on top, plays it quickly into the attack.
It's a great throw. It's a great throw from Kuzminski. Great save and then a great throw. He waited, and it was he couldn't have asked for a better pass.
Sponterson with the through ball. Here's Zico Lewis inside the box. Still Zico Lewis. And just forced out wide. That's an opportunity. Brilliantly worked. And now here comes another one at the edge of the box.
You can see he wanted to take a shot. It was great defending. I think again, I think it was it White again. If it was, he's done great. And I think the referee might. No, he's not going to book it. That was good defending again. Here's the free kick. Yeah, he just got beat by skill there. He was a little bit tired there. So this is a dangerous chance now. This is definitely for a right footer. Although Van Shape's gone over there now. Looks like it's going to be an outswing. It's going to be a cross. I think from these situations, you definitely need a left and a right footer over this.
Van Shape been brilliant over set pieces. He's looking out the corner of his eye. Is the short option on? He's got a nugget just out of your camera frame in acres of space. But it looks like it's going to be the delivery.
Someone's going to have to get round the back post here when we get a wider view now.
Some pushing and shoving going on in the box. Van Shape, the man over it. Here it comes, whipped in towards the back post. Higashi picks it up. Taro re-delivers away at the near post. Nelson's there, straight out by Jack Metcalf.
Yes, I do. It's ready when you need it.
Great pass there.
She's so agile on the ball. A brilliant ball over by Lewis. Here's an opportunity for Romario. And Brendan Moore comes up massive for his side.
Again, very intelligent pass by Zico Lewis, wasn't it? Romario, but you see what he's trying to do, he's just trying to help it over the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper done brilliant just to spread himself, and he earned his luck there.
Finn pulls it out the sky. Fernando assesses his options at the top of the box, goes out wide. Gordon Wild with the delivery, and again straight through. First from Nico Rittmeyer at the back. That's going to be a corner for the visitors.
Again, the game's very open, isn't it? Going from end to end, and as I said, chance after chance. That was, again, we saw that again from Zico Lewis. It was a great little chip over the top. Piggott read it really well, and he done everything right. And you have to say that's just a case of a goalkeeper making a good save. We said when were the goalkeepers going to be brought in, and in the last 5 minutes, Kuzminski's made a great save and started off an attack, and now Moore's done the same. So, for a 0-0, it's been an unbelievably entertaining game so far.
Not the only 0-0 game either. Pittsburgh, Charlotte, Indy, Nashville, and Tampa and Swope Park all 0-0 as it stands. Keep you up to date with those scores around the league. Jack Metcalf with the outswinger from the far side. It's a good ball into the box. Vint gets the header, and Kuzminski nicely composed at the back. Another good ball into the attack. Rittmeyer was there, but well read from Asiadu.
I think the referee's there on the go. Asiadu, just because he keeps jumping up, he's going to give him the yellow card. Yeah, he's done it. He was trying to stop Joe Kuzminski from throwing the ball out. Again, I have to say it's good refereeing. Kuzminski had to stop throwing the first one and then threw the second one. So. And now I think we're going to see a substitution here for the battery.
Niku Daly down below is ready to make his way on for Mike Anhauser. What a player Niku Daly has been so far this season.
He's going to get 30 minutes, I think, at least 30 minutes, which is probably his longest spell since he's come to the club. And Ian Swanson is coming back from injury. It's no surprise to see him come out. Completely different proposition now with Daly. I mean, Swanson's big, strong. This is for the yellow card here. Here you go. You can just see he just jumps in front of him the first time. And if he doesn't get away, he jumps it in the second time. So the referee's quite right to give a yellow card for that.
Niku Daly, a goal on the season so far. The 18-year-old out of Jamaica, scouted by Mike Anhauser. And you said it best, Derek, just such raw speed, and when he gets the ball, he's going for goal.
Yeah, he's just unpredictable. He's a young man with no fear. This will be a really good game for him because I'm sure he'll fit in with a lot of the Atlanta players who are very similar, very young, learning their trade. And when you get a young talent like that, sometimes you don't know what to expect from a seasoned pro. You can normally get that consistency, but with this young man, as I said, you really don't know what he's going to get. But he's certainly a talent.
Asiadu out wide to Fernando. Some brilliant trickery from Fernando. Whips one in, and Joe Kuzminski, fantastic save out of the back.
I think he's nearly got beat his near post. It was a great save because I think he just gets your hand on it and pushes it onto the post. So it just clips his hand on the post. You don't want to get beat at that near post. That's a big goalkeeper like Kuzminski.
Now we're going to see be another substitution for Atlanta United 2 from Stephen Glass. It looks like it's going to be Josef Samuel, the man to make his way on, and out comes Kana Kamana, who's been very busy tonight for his side, you've got to say.
He's done very, very well, and if I'm honest, I won't be sad to say his name again. It's taken me all the half just to try and say his name. So.
The new signees for the side, Kana Kamana, just 19 years old, like we mentioned, the end of his night, but a brilliant performance. Josef Samuel, the Ethiopian forward, makes his way in to close out the game. And a good delivery towards the back post, Kuzminski. Good goalkeeping. And again, opts to play it out quickly. Here's Naku Daly. Naku Daly with the pressure. There's that speed we were talking about, Derek.
Yeah, no, he's good. And, you know, Kuzminski's obviously seen that now. And he's done 3 great passes. I mean, he's there to be the last line of defence, but he's actually been the first line of attack on a few occasions already tonight. It's really good to see.
Ground ball into Lewis again. Lewis with the trickery. Daly trying to find the one-on-one opportunity. Still Daly. Takes a touch back, lays it off for Lewis. Zico Lewis with the pass through. Lewis! Couldn't quite see that, but Moore does just enough. A brilliant bright spark from the home side though.
And he done really well. He showed his maturity here. Look, he just didn't run. He showed his strength there. Look, and then he picked his pass out. And great feat here by Zico Lewis to get in. He falls on his weaker foot, but great play from the youngster as well. Showed his real maturity there.
Some brilliant combinations between the two sides, and we've seen that from them both so far this season when they've been on the pitch together.
I think if you're Daly, you know, Zico Lewis is someone you want to play with because, as I said, he sees things before it happens. And this young man, you know, you can give a pass that's maybe 1 or 2 yards behind him, and he can actually turn it into a great pass. So with his speed and certainly his enthusiasm as well, it's not just speed. He wants to run, he wants to chase the ball. And each game, I think he's slowly, you know, he came in for 10 minutes, then 15 minutes. Now he's got half an hour. Interesting to see how he copes with playing at this level for 30 minutes. Because you have to learn to grow into a team and into a game, and it's a challenge.
Mike Anhauser talking about him when he made his appearance for the Open Cup and comparing him to the likes of Romario Williams and Dane Kelly. And when you mention in the same sentence as those two, that's never a bad thing with that pace and strength. Here's an opportunity though for Atlanta United too, over the dead ball at the other end.
Especially, you know, he's got years to come, you know, certainly to come into this team and play. I mean, I think people forget 18, you know, some kids in the US are still in high school. You know, he's coming in, he's come into a professional environment where he's having to be coached every day, work every day. Fitness is a big part of it. And, you know, he's loving it, I'm sure, right now.
To your point about Mike Anhauser, seeing something in these players and bringing them over and giving them an opportunity to play here in the States. Seen him groom so many young players up to MLS. Here's an opportunity for Atlanta United too. Takes the touch. Josef Samuel's there and just over the top of the bar.
That should have been a goal. Again, battery a little bit 6s and 7s at the back post. It came back because Minsky had just got caught out a little bit, and Samuels had a free header really, and all he had to do was get it on target. Here we go. It's a great delivery into the back post. Gets headed back across. A little bit of luck, but all he's got to do now is get above that and head it down, and that's 1-0.
Gotta earn that $70.
Launches one out the back. He's down the other end though. Fernando takes his space, drops one across the box. Samuel once again takes a touch inside, tries to lay it off for Kisadou. And it takes a deflection from Leland Archer at the back. Here comes another corner.
Samuel's had a great impact, hasn't he? He's had that chance there. He's picked up.
Yeah, I've got one.
Looks like he finds really intelligent positions around the box. He's now just got to, as I said, get to the tune of the game, and he looks like he could be a very dangerous player.
Yeah. I got you.
Wilvin, the substitute.
That's the thing I like to see, young players get involved in set pieces. He's 17 years of age. He's going to whip one in.
Here is the delivery towards the penalty spot. Can't quite get on the end of it.
Right.
65 minutes in the books here from MUSC Health Stadium. Poppy Miller alongside Derek Brawley. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match, wherever you are. Especially if you're joining us from Atlanta, Georgia. Some Five Stripes fans in the house tonight below us as well. Always great to see some traveling fans here in Charleston. Metcalf ground ball in too wild. Straight to the back. Samuel almost there once again. End-to-end stuff. Zico Lewis battling at the back. His options, finds Anunga in a bit of space. Piggott. Brilliant again. Bit of skill there from Mario Piggott, looking for the ball over the top. Didn't come to fruition that time though.
It's nice to see players trying that a little bit. I'm sure the crowd loved that. Everyone down in front, you heard the woos, you know, when he does it, a little behind the leg kick there. And, as I said, it's great to do it. When it comes off, it's even better. But you could see it was definitely the right thing to do. It was a bit unfortunate. If it had come off, it had been on every highlight reel around the world, I think.
Fans, who's up, who's down? Where does your club sit? Find out every Monday in the official USL Championship Power Rankings, only on USLChampionship.com. Here's Higashi. McHugh Daly on the run. Can't get around George Campbell though. And pulled over at the far side. Absolutely furious, Nico Rittmeyer saying and again. And then we'll see a yellow card for the youngster George Campbell. Got saved. If you've ever seen a professional foul, maybe that was it.
Yeah, you see there that he's gone there. He's just took an extra touch. Nico Rittmeyer's got a bit fortunate. He's just pulled him back there. And I think if that's in on goal, I mean that's a red card, isn't it? As you said, that is the absolute pinnacle of a professional foul.
Down. He took a bit of a knock. Englishman.
Got that earlier, didn't he? He got that in the box, and I'm sure he's not quite recovered yet. And as I said, they're going to have to look at that now. I'm sure they don't want him, you know, that injury to get worse. Might just have to take now. And again, here we have a left footer, so you know, a couple of times now this ball's gone to the back post, and the back we haven't got anyone there in time. So here we go
again to the back post. This time Piggott's there, sky high it goes, and Moore comes out on top.
The problem they got is instead of having people arriving at the back post, they're having to get there. So I think it might be better just to stick someone on the back post and just let them have a jump and see how they get on.
Doing acres of space, gets a touch on it, picks up the loose. Back on himself, Metcalf. Finds the path through. Bint. Cross into Asiadu. Into the attack, Candela. To Rittmeyer, Joseph Samuel with the pressure. Asiadu once again, can he create an opportunity for himself? Plays it wide to Fernando. Fernando takes the strike, and Kuzminski, what a brilliant save to keep his side in it.
Second save he's had to make there now. That's great chasing there by Zico Lewis. Yeah, Kuzminski here again. Look, he stands up, he sets himself, he's nice and big there. Look, these nice quick hands where he just forces it away. Not only is that a good save, he pushes it away from the goal, out of danger, which is very, very good goalkeeping.
He makes his 11th start of the season, 3 clean sheets on the year so far. Last season had 12 in the 24 games he appeared in for Mike Canhouse's side. Here's Daly. That unpredictability factor is outnumbered, plays it safe and goes to Candela. Candela straight across the box, no worries for Moore.
I don't think he's quite fully recovered from it there. He's just labouring a little bit, and when you're that age and you get a little knock and you're playing against these men, it does get a little bit harder for you. You can just shake that off and get back into the game.
As Metcalf invited into the attack by Fernando. Brazilian takes a touch, gets himself inside the box, ground ball in towards the penalty spot, and there it is! What an opportunity, and finished by Laurent Kissidou.
And that all came from Fernando there, wasn't it? Great driving into the box, wasn't it? He was very positive. It was a great cutback. Here we'll see it again. Look, he drives in, great cutback there, and it's a great turn by Kissidou, and he just hits it into the corner.
Atlanta United 2 break the deadlock, find themselves on the score sheet in the 70th minute. Laurent Kissidou, the man who had a spell at the Charleston Battery, puts his side in the lead.
Yeah, it's a great finish, as I said, but it all came from Fernando's great work down this left-hand side, the way he drove into the box, and now the Battery's got a little bit of a mountain to climb. Now they've got to claw their way back into the game. I think they've still got another substitute or two. We've only had the one right now, so there's some changes that possibly could come, but let's see how they go attack this next 5 minutes and see if they can play themselves back into the game.
20 minutes left to go here from Charleston, South Carolina. Big ball into the attack, flicked on by Piggott. Here's Lewis. Lewis on the run, battling with Campbell. It's a brilliant ball through for Piggott. Piggott lays one back, and the Battery, can they find the answer? Daly was right there, but nothing to come of it.
Again, great play by Zico Lewis to pick Piggott out. It was a fantastic little ball in there. And again, great chance come across the box. They just need someone in the 6-yard box who's prepared to take a gamble.
Daly brought down. And White, you have to be very, very careful though. He's already on a yellow card.
When you demonstrate that with the referee, I think when it's your second one, you just, you watch his reaction just after this. Look, there's the foul. Look, sometimes that little reaction there can be the difference between staying on the field and getting taken off.
Vincenzo Candela this time. Jared Van Schaik, the only man for Mike Anhauser behind the ball to defend. Everybody joining in the attack. Lewis out wide, just out of your camera screen. It's going to be Candela.
Not Nelson, wide left.
See what he whips up. Something from the training ground. Higashi, anything to come of what they were trying to achieve. Could this be a counter at the other end of the park? Jared Van Schaik, the veteran defender, steps in, but taken quickly. Joseph Samuel in the box on his own, and Brian Anunga recovers.
It's a corner kick, and you see Van Schaik, that's the danger of the multi-balls, that he great tackle here. He does it, and then look, he tries to kick the ball away just to waste a little bit of time, but there's another ball there, look, and then he gets caught out. And as I said, that could have been very dangerous. Samuel's had a great introduction into this game. He's had 3 chances himself. He's only been on the field about 15 minutes.
Samuel that was looming in the box on his own. And now Atlanta United 2 and a no rush to get this back underway. Metcalf tracking out wide to take it, and it looks like down below Mike Anhauser's getting ready to make a substitute as Dante Marini pulls on his jersey.
He's a man that's come to the rescue of the Battery a couple of times this season with some winning goals.
Metcalf with the outswinger to the back post. Not far off.
Kissidou again, he rose above everyone again. Just couldn't get above it and head it down, but another good header, another good corner, another good set piece.
Well, the Battery unbeaten at home so far this season. Like we mentioned, Atlanta United 2 winless in their last 5, but they find themselves in the lead in the 75th minute. Daly down with a head injury.
Yeah, and this is not an easy place to come for visiting teams. The Battery's home record over the last few seasons. They're a very, very experienced team. And as I said, for this young Atlanta 2 team, if they can hold on for a victory, this will be seen as a big step forward for them. And I know that the Battery players will be really, really trying to preserve that home unbeaten record. It's something that they pride themselves on. I know Coach Mike Anhauser is really, really keen to keep that going. So he'll be giving some instructions during this little break now to make sure that the teams are bang at it and that they try and give a good account of themselves for this last 15 to 18 minutes.
It's an acute Daly down with a head injury. Bobby Weisenberger of MUSC Health, celebrating his 10th year at the club, always taking fantastic care of the players. Hydration station down below. Like we mentioned, such a warm and humid night here on Daniel Island. 82 degrees. It was right at the limit as to whether we would have seen a water break. And of course, for the Battery players, it's only going to get hotter throughout the summer as well.
Yeah, no, I don't think people realise, you know, when you travel around the country and the distances these players go, you know, they travel across the state lines and the different conditions, weather conditions you face. I mean, extremely hot down in the south. You go and play in New York and it could be, you know, 55 degrees, and then you go somewhere else and it can be like 32 degrees. So hopefully Daly can carry on. He looks a little bit groggy. As a youngster, they may take some precautions there, and I think right now we're seeing the final substitution from Atlanta too.
Substitution for Atlanta United 2. Coming out number 11, Kevin Barajas.
Laurent Kissadou makes his way out. That's the end of his night, and in comes Kevin Barajas, the Georgia native. Signed his professional contract last season. And a like-for-like substitution. There, Nikki Daly down below.
Yeah, everything's
medical attention. It looks like Marini as well, waiting to make his way onto the pitch.
Kissadou's had a great night, hasn't he? He's had a few chances and he's been very, very dangerous. So, yeah, you know, he'll be sadly missed.
One match so far this season that Atlanta United 2 haven't made all 3 substitutions. Use them all as we're in the 77th.
See if Daly can shake off that little knock. You know, welcome to the pro game. He's had a little knock. Let's see if he can recover from that and get himself back into the game.
Wild on the run. Leland Archer is there. He's in favour of the home side.
Good defending there by Archer. Just gets his body in front. Stephen Glass, you're really upset there with Gordon Wild giving away a foul when the team was really under pressure.
Dante Marini, the man, the super sub, like you mentioned. And out comes Kitaro Higashi, the Japanese veteran, who's had a busy night for the black and yellow. But can the super sub perform once again? He's come on as a substitute. 2 goals, 2 game-winning goals. See what he can cook up in the last 13 minutes.
Yeah, he's a bright player as well in and around the box as well, so you know, having Daly there, he can find those little pockets and those little passes that can get other players in, so I think it's a great substitution at this stage of the game.
Here's Dante Marini, straight on the pitch, looking to set up Daly, and White to the rescue out of the back.
Again, for his first touch, it was the right pass. He just didn't have the weight on it. I think he's got to zip that across. But again, that's what he'll do. He'll bring to it. You know, he finds those little pockets. He's very intelligent. And now Zico Lewis gets his first corner of the night, and we know what he can do. He can whip these in.
Almost an opportunity to play it quickly there with Romario Pickett. It looks like it's going to be an in-swinger. And before he takes it, and his teammates know exactly where he wants them.
He's going in low, flat, right across the keeper's face.
Numbers surround Moore. It's a brilliant one! What a fantastic corner that finds the back of the net. Zico Lewis equalises the scoring.
And I'll tell you what, if you actually look there, that's what he was telling Nico Rittmeyer. Get across the front of the goalkeeper. He's whipping it in and it's straight in. And I'll take a plus for that one, calling it, because that's what you could see what he was telling him. Get to the front post, and he just put pressure on Moore. Here it goes, look, whipped in, straight in. Keeper's got no chance, and that's a great delivery, but it's just a good command, if you like, to Nico Rittmeyer to make it happen.
His 4th goal of the season for the black and yellow. Equalises it here on home soil.
You have to say, I think it's a deserved, you know, that's a deserved goal from him as an individual, but also as, you know, the game, you know, as I said, it's been a really good game so far. and now it's like game on for the minute. And it just shows you the resilience of this Battery team when they play at home. They never want to concede anything. They want to fight to the end. They want to get themselves back in. And now, as I said, now the next 2 or 3 minutes is going to be vital to how this game ends up.
Yellow smoke from the regiment on the far side. Clouds the pitch. Mentioned Zico Lewis been on fantastic form for both club and country. He is the one to pull it back for his side. 10 minutes left to play here at MUSC Health Stadium. Poppy Miller alongside Derek Broadley. Thank you for joining us for tonight's match wherever you are. Samuel to the top of the box. Siadu. Brings it back to Wilfin. Metcalf with the delivery towards the penalty spot. Brilliant defending challenge from Candela. Candela on the run. Wants it back. He couldn't lace it through, but keeps the possession. This time he can. It's Vincenzo Candela. And a recovery run from White to keep them out.
All those young Battery players who are listening to this broadcast, every time we get corners in our youth program, we ask them to try and score a goal. And now there's the perfect bit of footage now that we can show them with Zico Lewis, because that's the way it is. That's the best way to get a good delivery into the box. Try and score, put it in with pace. And now we've got my little bit of footage that I'll use all the way through the youth club.
Of course, an exciting time for the youth club of all the USL Championship teams with the new development.
Yeah, no, I think it's the natural progressions now that professional clubs now take up that mantle of developing players, and you know, USL have now thrown a hat in the ring with that, and I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic event, or 2 events this year, but more importantly the league to come.
Looking for Fernando Kuzminski. Brilliant turn out of the back. Get the applause from the home fans around us.
He's had a really solid game, and Kuzminski's handling's been good. You know, he couldn't be fought with a goal. He's made some very good saves. His distribution's been fantastic so far.
Nicely done by Piggott. Zico Lewis has turned. Campbell's tracking. He gets it across. He can't quite get the angle on it for Nicky Daly.
And you could see what he was trying to do. He wasn't trying to score. He was just trying to roll it across for Daly. Maybe if he had a little bit more confidence with that right foot, it could have taken it on.
Right place, right time in the box.
We've got a really exciting last 8 minutes. I think both teams, neither one of these teams wants to settle for the draw in the game. You know, the only thing that was missing from the game at half time was a goal, and we've had 2. It's been a really exciting game.
Very back and forth, especially in this second half. Shake, the veteran defender, has had a stellar night so far. Finn takes his space in the middle.
He's a real confident player, doesn't he, for a 17-year-old?
Glued to this side, makes his 11th start tonight for Stephen Glasser's side. The inaugural team captain when this team came together. Finished first on the team in games played and games started last season, and led the team in chances created. Here he is now with a chance over the dead ball on this near side.
Knocked on the door the last couple of corners. Let's hope the Battery now can just keep them out.
Half again towards the back post. Archer's first to the races. Asiadu replays it. Archer safety first.
I think he just got tangled up there with Kuzminski. Kuzminski got the benefit of the doubt there. I think it was just a tangle. I don't think it was anything deliberate. And if we get to see it again, I don't think he was deliberately preventing Kuzminski to come out. It was just part of a collision. That's what I think Metcalf's saying to him. You know, he wasn't deliberately trying to get it, but he did impede him, and the referee has to give the goalkeeper the benefit of the doubt there.
Let's have another look at this, Derek.
So here we go. So it's not there. Let's see. He's got it. Because there, so I think he's trying to protect himself there, but he does get into a tangle, and quite rightly the referee gives a free kick.
Barajas was actually the first player to sign with the club through the trial system. In 4 seasons at the University of Kentucky. He signed his first professional contract last season.
You're mad about 2 yards.
Worked out to the back to find Piggott. Brilliant turn from Romario Piggott into the feet of Marini. Candella's got space. Rittmeyer on the run, finds his feet. Good ball into the box. Marini's there, but not for Captain Jack.
Good play by Vin again. He's a very tidy young player. I'm sure we'll see a lot of him going forward if anything, if tonight's game is anything to go by.
Fernando takes the touch inside, finds Samuel. Out wide to Gordon Wild. Numbers flooding inside the box. The delivery is there, straight across the back. Barajas with the strike. And Nelson just before Kosminski can get to it.
As I said, now their energy and athleticism is just having a little, it's taking its toll on the battery now.
Samuel. Just to get the run up for the delivery into the box. Diving header from Rittmeyer.
Where are you going?
Dante Marini breaks away. Stephen Glass absolutely furious down below us with this side. Here's Naku Daly. Naku Daly, one-on-one. Naku Daly can't beat Brendan Moore at the back.
And that's what he's good at, isn't he, the young man? You get him there on a 1v1 situation, especially at this stage of the game, 87th minute. You know, he's definitely he's only got one thing in his mind: turn, gut the goal. And you know, we've seen him score from that sort of distance where he's spun in and running on goal. One in. He's hit the target. You can't ask for any more.
Well, we said it earlier in the broadcast. Both goalkeepers have been fantastic so far tonight. Some brilliant saves.
Yeah, and I think if we're going to do our man of the match, I think certainly for the battery, you know, Joe Kosminski, I think not. And I know it's not just for his saves, but I think his distribution and his overall performance, I think tonight he definitely deserves the man of the match award tonight. He's made 3 or 4 very good saves, but I've also been very impressed now with his distribution. And although Zico Lewis will get the headlines for the goal, I think there was 2 or 3 saves there that took place, you know, when the battery were under pressure that really have kept the battery in this game. So I'm going to give the Heineken man of the match to Joe Kosminski.
Joe Kosminski, the Heineken man of the match for tonight's game. Just under 2 minutes left to play of regulation here from Charleston. Numbers flying in. Forces it. And a little kick there from Metcalf. And Vint flies in a hand. The referee is going to stop the match.
I think the thing is now in this day and age, I mean, Vince shown his immaturity there. He doesn't have to get involved in that. I mean, Metcalf's a senior player, but if you watch out, there's a little kick here. Look, there you go. Little kick it in, and Piggott's reacted to it. And then, you know, Vince definitely doesn't need to get involved in any of that. That'll be something he'll have to learn as he goes through his career. Okay. And Metcalf's lucky there not to even get into there. He's having an argument with the referee, but I think if the referee just saw that, he could have been in bother.
I think Vin is very lucky to escape without a card there.
Maybe it's good refereeing because he knows he's a young lad and a little bit immature.
Almost a chance, but offside is the call.
So here we go. Last couple of minutes, as I said, now we're getting to a stage now where, you know, do you try and win it or you're happy with your point? And, you know, overall, I think that the game, neither team really does deserve the points. I think it's been a real even contest. You know, some great chance either way, and anyone who wins it now, if anyone was to lose it, and I think he'll have to go off here. This will be his second one.
Well, it was Nikki Daly on the run. Shown mustard. And I think you're right, Derek.
Is that not your second?
I thought the same as you, that white was already in the books. But it's just yellow.
Okay, maybe he didn't get one in the first half. It's a great foul to give away at that stage of the game, but let's give the Battery another chance at home with this big crowd behind it. Let's see what they can do.
3 minutes left to play of added on time. Van Schaik with the delivery straight into the mix. Lewis picks it up at the top of the box, out wide for Archer, who makes his way into the attack. Going to be a throw-in down this near side.
The home fans are really willing this team on. As I said, if I'm really honest, I think right now a draw would be a fair result, but any win now for either team would really be a crushing blow for the opposition.
Battery after the win with the defenders in the attack. Nelson's there with the flick on it, runs through everybody. And Van Schaik recycles, drops one down to Rittmeyer. Rittmeyer will be offside on that occasion. That was very close though from our view.
No, it was, yeah, no. You can see what Van Schaik was trying to do there, but as I said, now we're going into that sort of do or die stage now at the end of the game.
Nicely done by Van Schaik. There's another one that's had a brilliant night tonight.
And there's been some, I mean, this has been a really entertaining game. There's been some great performances from both sets of players, I think. You know, the game's just had just about everything. It's been very entertaining, 2 good goals, you know, some very good individual play, some good collective team play. I think both defences will be happy, both forwards will be happy. The midfield has been a great contest. So, as I said, if you're a neutral, you've seen a very good game of soccer tonight.
We've got to say some brilliant substitutions as well that have made an impact in the match when they've come on.
Yeah, you know, Samuel certainly for you know, Atlanta. You know, Daly's come on and done well. You know, Dante Marini's come on and had a good game. And as I said, overall, I think a draw will be a fair result. And it looks like it's going to end up that way. Maybe it might get one more chance.
In the final minute of added on time, Piggott takes it quickly. Gets the return from Lewis. Back to Nelson. It's a good ball through to Anunga. Tarbara and Anunga with the delivery. Home. Mike can hold Samuel up in his tracks.
Some great individual performances all the way through the game.
Nicely done by Arthur, cool and composed at the back, straight to Kuzminski. This may be the final attack of the match if we have time for it. It's Van Schaik. Read by Metcalf, and here comes the throw. But we won't have time for it. That is going to be the end of the match. Charleston Battery 1, Atlanta United 2. Derek Crawley, your final thoughts?
No, listen, very entertaining game. As I said, I think both coaches, when they look at this game again, they'll be happy with the point. As I said, you know, the Battery going down, they don't want to give up that home record that they have for not getting beat. And it came through loud and clear. Great goal by Zico Lewis. And I'm sure both coaches will be happy with the point upon reflection of the game, yeah.
Both teams get a goal tonight. Let's take a look at tonight's final highlights. 1-1, the final score from MUSC Health Stadium, but we'll start from the beginning, Derek.
Yeah, no, here is Piggott's chance in the first half. He hits the target, it's the goal, it just slips it wide, but a little sign of Lewis's influence on the game. Then we'll see a couple of saves here from Joe Kuzminski, where he's done really well. There's one, look, it's a great save, he gets it away. Here's the goal, I believe, where it's just cut back in. It's a great turn here by Kisadu, and he hits it in the corner. Kuzminski's got no chance. And then here's this great corner, you know, trying to whip it in and score. And again, it wasn't just the fact he called it right before before he hit it, so it's a great delivery. And as I said, overall, I think a draw is a fair result for both teams, and a thoroughly entertaining for what was a very, very big crowd tonight here in Charleston.
Fantastic night, a thrilling match for a 1-1 draw. Well, that's just about all we've got time for here in Charleston, South Carolina. On behalf of Poppy Miller, Derek Crawley, the entire broadcast crew here, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.